has got his Newcastle United sock ready because it is FA Cup third round draw night, day. However you're watching it, we have got all the best coverage. The FA Cup third round draw, Newcastle United will be number 26. We'll go through all the numbers later, but I've got Joe with me. Get your comments in as well. Who do you want Newcastle United to face in the third round? Last year, can't really remember last year. Who did we face? It was the
Hmm.
Magnums down the A19 at the Stadium of Light. I'll be nice. I'll be nice tonight. But Joe, good evening to you. Really looking forward to this draw. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see who Newcastle gets. Hopefully a home draw, but we'll go into that in a bit more detail. But how are you this evening?
Aye, doing grand, doing grand. Got everything set up. Some things are a little bit janky on the left side there, but wasn't fully expecting to come on live. But Carl, you let me down. Carl, man, come on, what you doing, brother? So I've stepped in. I get my accent isn't quite as good, and I'm not even going to attempt the Brummie accent. But no, looking good. Should be a good draw. Obviously, we remember last season it was absolutely fantastic. At this point, we're flying high. We've got the Mackhams. We've done the business to be nice. And got that iconic photo in front of all our travelling fans. Just a wonderful, lovely, lovely experience. But yeah, now looking into this one, obviously, as you say, home draw. That's a big one, isn't it? That's what everyone wants. Everyone wants to be at St James's. No matter who you get, you feel like, I mean, maybe not with recent form, but you feel like usually at the best of days when we're really going for it, it's a fortress there, isn't it, man, Johnny? It's a fortress. You can take anyone on.
Yes, certainly. It doesn't matter who you take on Manchester City, Harrogate Town, Charlton Athletic. Who knows? We'll see who we get, but it'll be really, really interesting to find out. Make sure you keep your comments coming. Ella says hi. Good evening to you, Ella. Senshi says thank you for watching. Please drop the crew a like. Thank you very much, Senshi. Please drop us a like because it is FA Cup third round draw day. It's where the minnows take on the big boys and girls, of course, and it's really, really something that we all look forward to as football fans in general. Sometimes back in the Ashley days, it was like, oh, we were going to get beat off in the third round this year because we had a horrendous record. But in the last couple of years, it hasn't been too bad. Quarter final last year. Well, actually, it's only the quarter final really you can talk about under the Eddie Howe era. We got beat off Sheffield Wednesday in Cambridge, which so it shows that we can be a bit of the joke of the third round at times, where we've had the upsets, the first game and match of the day, etc., etc. But Joe, Crystal Palace on Saturday, 1-1 at late equaliser for Munoz gave Palace a point, and Newcastle essentially dropped 2 points if you look at it like that. But were they lucky to get a point at all?
You don't even have to really even look at the stats. Go look at the highlights. I was shocked when I was watching back the highlights. It was abysmal to see we're playing like that. I mean, it's one of those a game where you think everything's looking right, starting lineup's looking good. Isak goes down early with an injury, but I even think even by that point we weren't looking strong, we weren't looking amazing. We were very, 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 very lucky to come away with just 1 point. It was for me possibly one of the worst, if not the worst, performance of the season so far. And it's a one where we really need to jump back from and look at ourselves and go, look, we've got a lot more character than that. We've got a lot more skill, and we should have a hell of a lot more chemistry. I mean, we looked all over the place. I think I remember the stats. I'm certain we didn't even have one shot on target. It's just not right for Newcastle, man. It's disheartening to see performances like that. Yes, we know we're away form, and something's worrying, but we usually play a lot better than we did at the weekend. Like it's a sad affair at the minute. Like
Yeah, it gets easier. Obviously, Liverpool, top of the table. Liverpool, who are 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League, just next at St James's Park. Alexander Isak is fit for that game, which is a real blessing. We really needed him not to be injured for too long. You know, there's rumours being speculated that he's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. Well, he's done an interview with Andy Kerr, who works for Premier League Productions, who said he's in the squad. As long as he doesn't get injured tomorrow, he will be involved against Liverpool. And he was actually quite flattered rather with the war flags display, which of course was absolutely tremendous against West Ham. That was the last home game. But Joe, that the goals are where the lack of goals, that is the concern. And I'd love to get people's comments. Why do you think that there's no goals? Because me and Joe can talk until the cows come home, but it's just going to be really, really, where's the plan B, Joe? That's what I was going to ask you.
it's one thing we spoke on the last word after West Ham. It's one of those where you can ask multiple questions. What's our best midfield? Where's the plan B? Where's the plan C? Because at the moment we seem as soon as we're first couple of attempts go forward, we're just in the field. Right, well, what do we do next? And we don't know. We just keep plugging away. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting the same results. At the moment, you can understand why there's a lot of questioning about Eddie Howe, because it does feel like at the moment we're just plugging away at the exact same routine. Let's just ping the ball, use a bit of wing, ping the ball up forward, and hopefully someone can get on the end of it. And it's not working. I feel at the moment we're set pieces aren't strong enough. We're not diverse enough. Our corners are all the same. Every single time we hit a corner, it's just about the same. Like, why don't we try playing the short ball for once? Who's expecting Newcastle to do that? Not really many people. And I think that's a big issue in with performances is everyone knows what to expect from it. There is no plan B. There is no switch of formation and trying a different routine in midfield. It's the same business all the time. And I mean, we kind of got what we want with Sandro Tonali starting at the weekend, and it just didn't work. Was that Eddie Howe saying, well, look, I'll give you what you want, but it doesn't work? Well, then if it doesn't work, we need to find another option because that's a lot of money in our midfield. That's a lot of talent in our midfield, and we need to find a way to utilise them together. We've got to find a way where Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali can all be on the pitch at the same time and work in tandem. We have seen shadows of it before. I remember when Tonali first came in, he played one of the friendlies. It looked phenomenal the way
It
they
looked
played.
horrendous. It looked unbelievable. Sorry, I was going to say.
It did, but then you look at the weekend at Crystal Palace, and they just didn't seem to know where each other were. The passes weren't hitting right. They weren't. The communication seemed like it was there to a degree, which was good to see because I feel like we do lack a little bit of communications at time at the minute. But it was just the it's like that moment on Football Manager on FIFA Ultimate Team when you're looking to link your chemistry with players and it's not happening. You just don't understand what's going on. And there's the Longstaff debate as well. We can go
Yeah,
on and on about the Longstaff debate. We've got better performances when Longstaff's in, but a lot of the time when he's in, we're seeing mediocre performances.
yeah,
It's hard to pinpoint a direct problem at the moment. Sven Botman coming back, that's going to be a very, very, very big one because I think that allows us to solidify our defence a bit more, which has been worrying at times. We can really be more reassured in our defence, but it's a midfield. I really put it down to the midfield. And how do we fix that?
Ooh. Oh, he's there. He's back. He's back. We lost you for half a second, Joe. Can you hear us?
Oh, yep, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what went
No,
on
it's all
there.
right. It's all right. But yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think it was just obviously that last word that we just didn't get there. You see, the last word, that's what you get in Newcastle fans take after every home game and away game. I know that's what we were thinking there. Mike says 14 minutes in, Isak injured. How can you say we weren't looking good? It wasn't great for the first 97 minutes, whatever we played at Crystal Palace. It was a really dreadful watch, Mike. I'll take that one for you. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he wants Borough at home in the next round. Kizo says, in all honesty, I can see us beating City with their current decline in form and us being shaky. We may be able to win comfortably against the 4-time in a row Premier League champions. To be fair, anybody could beat Manchester City at the minute. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But in terms of the FA Cup numbers, we'll just quickly jump on them and we'll go through them. Number 1, Bournemouth. Number 2, Arsenal. Number 3, Aston Villa. Number 4, Blackburn. 5, Brentford. 6, Brighton. Number 7, Bristol City. Number 8 is Burnley. 9 is Cardiff City. 10 is Chelsea. 11, Coventry City. 12, Palace. 13, Derby. 14, Everton. 15, Fulham. 16 are Hull City. 17, Ipswich. 18, Leeds. 19, Leicester. 20, Liverpool. 21, Luton. 22, Manchester City. 23, Manchester United. 24, Middlesbrough. 25, Millwall. 26. Who's 26, Joe?
Two, blow it away.
27, Norwich. 28, Forest. 29, Oxford. 30, Plymouth. 31, Portsmouth. 32, Preston. 33 is QPR. 34, Sheffield United. 35, Sheffield Wednesday. 36 is Southampton. 37 is Stoke. 38.
They get
38,
the
Joe.
hot dog burgers no, they get the hot dog sausage in a bigger bun. Sunderland's a massive club. Oh, the
You've got it. You've got it. Number 39, Swansea. 40, Tottenham. 41, Watford. 42, West Brom. 43 is West Ham. 44 is Wolves. The last 20 teams are the teams that got through from the first and second round of the FA Cup. So you got 45 being Salford, 46 Charlton, 47 Exeter, 48 Leyton Orient, 49 Bristol Rovers, Number 50 is Dagenham and Redbridge. 51, Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly, for all our older fans out there. 52 is Lincoln City. 53, Tamworth. 54, Birmingham City. 55, Mansfield Town. 56 is Peterborough United. 57, Stockport. 58, Wickham. 59, Morecambe. 60, Bromley. 61, Doncaster. 62, Reading. 63, Harrogate. And 64 is Wigan Athletic. So there's a bit of a mixture, Joe. But what would be for you the best case scenario draw and the worst case scenario draw?
Worst case scenario is Liverpool away. I think Liverpool's form at the minute, they are deadly and they can probably beat anyone in the world at this moment in time. They are in excellent, excellent, excellent form in the post-Klopp era. Um, Best case scenario, I've got two in my mind personally. I've been playing it over and over in my head, and I really do think that it's going to be us at home against Watford. But I think the best case scenario for us and for morale, if we want to be able to take something from this cup draw and go away with a really dominant win that can boost the morale through the roof, it needs to be Sunderland at home. We need to beat the
You want the
Mackems at
derby?
home. Yeah, yeah. And I think it's one of those. The reason I want it isn't just for having the derby. I think if we go out there and we get the derby at home and we're able to beat Sunderland 2 or 3-1 again, and it'll elevate we're going forward in the rest of our matches. I think that's one of the big morale boosters that we could do with to really re-inject some energy into a season and really relight them hopes of Europe. Is beating the Mackems. Everyone loves it. Oh, yeah, we beat the Mackems. We're going to bed after 3 weeks, man. We love it. It's like winning a cup in itself. So best case scenario, Sunderland at home. Worst case scenario, Liverpool away. I think Liverpool away would be deadly for us right now.
Adrian says Manchester City versus Tamworth. Tamworth are the lowest ranked side, I believe, from the 20 teams I'm looking at. I think they are. Tamworth are the lowest ranked side. That'll be an unbelievable occasion for Tamworth. Let's have a look at Simi says, evening lads, good evening to you, Simi. Yeah, look, I think for me, worst case scenario would be Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal away. Teams that we haven't got a good record against. I throw Brighton into that mixture as well. We've got a horrendous record against Brighton. Breaking news, Strictly It Takes Two has finished. So that means they're going to put the FA Cup third round draw, just for all the Strictly fans out there. That's the worst case scenario of draws for me. Best case, I'm looking at any of the 20 clubs that have gone through from the first and second rounds. I think any of them teams at home or even away, you would fancy Newcastle to get the job done. If I'm looking at teams that aren't from those 20, look, Sunderland at home will always be the game that Newcastle fans would like because it has been such a long time. Last time Newcastle took on Sunderland at St James's Park was 2016. Last time we've beaten the Mackems at St James's Park was back in 2010. Which was the 5-1. Well, amazing game. It was an absolute brilliant game. But Middlesbrough's the one I want. It's been ages since we took on the Borough. I know they're a good team under Carrick, but I just think it'd be one of those atmospheres I think everyone would be up for. Don't mind if it's at home. Don't mind if it's away. It's not too far to get to. It's only about 45 minutes. So that would be mine, actually. I would like Middlesbrough. What would you say? Would you want Middlesbrough as well, Joe, or was that a bit too... Because Middlesbrough and Sunderland, let's be honest, as much as we don't want to take the mick out of them, they're both in the top 6 of the Championship. They're both starting really well this season.
It's one of those where you sort of let us know because I think this comments let us know because I think this is one of those ones that everyone debates about. Is Borough a derby? Do you know what I mean?
Is it?
Everyone will be like, well, it's a fake derby. I sit on the fence on that. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. For me, when it was for the Lasses team and all we could do was face Borough at Durham, they felt like derbies to it. But once we're back against Sunderland, Borough doesn't feel like a derby anymore. Coming up on Sunday, by the way, Newcastle United women versus Borough women in their FA Cup tie. It's going to be a fantastic one. Get yourselves along. I'm sadly not going to be there. It doesn't look like so. Um, I know. But we're going to Beamish instead, and it's Emmy's choice. But yes, anyways, I digress. Borough, would I have it? Of course I would. Anyone who's come up through the first or second draw, like you said, I mirror that totally. It would be amazing to have them because it's a one way we can go out and we can do a good performance. Bring on some players who we haven't seen in a while, maybe Miley. Give Osala a shot out because I think he really does need some time on that pitch. It would be interesting to get Borough. I would enjoy that, and I think it would be a good game. Borough's form's decent, as is Sunderland, so I think regardless of either of them two, it'd be an interesting derby.
Yeah, definitely. Cindy says we get terrible looking in these draws. We'll probably get an away game. I reckon someone like Leeds or Blackburn. We do take on Blackburn loads of times in cup draws as well. Carabao Cup, FA Cup. We took on Blackburn at Ewood Park last year, just getting through it on penalties. Where to watch it? You can watch it on BBC Two. However, let's just say right now, stay with us. You will get the best reaction from me and Joe because it is amazing. It has just started the coverage for the FA Cup third round draw, the Old Trafford, unfortunately, because Manchester United are the holders, which is why we're not in Europe, which is really frustrating. Senchi says, Borough, yes, please. Mike says, 97 minutes. You're right, Johnny. I moved twice because I was pissed off listening to gloom and doom, blokes arguing like Bens. If they don't like it, don't go. Quit the infighting. Stronger United. Is Mike just absolutely bang on, Joe, there?
I love that. I love that. It's what I say all the time about the whole, like, it even comes to the divide between the men's team and the women's team. No, we're all one club. This is all the same badge. We're all bleed black and white. You might want to go and get that checked out. Actually, if you do bleed black and white, you might have some issues going on. But we all should be together a bit more. And I get it. We've got frustrations, but it's like when people talk about I talk about often about the depth seems to be a drop off in the men's team, but how can we fix it with all these financial fair play rules, this PSR and everything, with that all looming above where? How can we just fix it like that? We've got to stick together. We've got to trust this process. We're what, 3.5 years into the takeover now? Like,
Yeah.
it was meant to be a 5 year plan. We've been in a FA Cup final. We've been in the Champions League, totally overachieving, beating PSG at home. We've had some amazing memories already. Like, let's stick to it. Do I personally think Eddie Howe is the right man to take it to the top flight or not? Probably he isn't. But I think what he's done with his team, and I think he's got to stay for a while, but I think what he's done with his team is phenomenal, and it's magical, and it's allowed her to believe again. And that should be something that we take away right now and stand together with. Yes, voice your opinions, but don't be going at each other but arguing, man.
Are
Come
you,
on, we'll
so,
get together.
so are you how out, Joe?
No, no, I'm how in, but I don't believe. I don't think he's going to go anywhere anymore. Well, I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon over the next year or two. I think we've still got Eddie Howe sticking around. However, I do understand why there's questions against him. I can see both sides of the coin there. I do think Eddie Howe's got the potential to bring her a trophy, but I don't think he's the man to stay here for like the length of maybe a Pep Guardiola or a Jurgen Klopp did at Liverpool and Man City. I think you get the 5 years and we'll look at someone else. We do. It's just natural in a football club to ebb, flow, and grow. You switch managers often. I do think that is eventually coming, but not in the very near future. Not at all. And I don't want him out either. I love what he's done. He's brought the passion back. I just want him to figure out getting a plan B. Is it okay that the man needs to learn some more? Yes, of course it is. It's how people become great. They learn. Like, come on. That's nah. I'm definitely Howin. Definitely Howin.
Simi says it's a tricky one. People are entitled to be unhappy. The performances most of the season have not been good enough. Something that's really missed at the club ever since Amanda and Mia Dad left. I agree with that. I don't think we have missed something since Amanda and Mia Dad have left the football club, particularly Amanda. Just I think that she's the one that was, she was the face of Newcastle United from the takeover, and I just think we are missing that. That's something in terms of what Amanda brought to the club. But the FA Cup draw is very nearly upon us. We have two former Manchester United players. One did very, very well. One not so well. Mark Hughes, of course, did very well for Manchester United, former Manchester City manager as well. Dion Dublin had a good career, of course he did. He'll be also doing the away team, so he'll be drawing out, hopefully, the team that Newcastle will be facing in the next round. James says, how do we snap out of this rut? But very, very clever, James. Very clever indeed. We do need to get out of this rut. We do need to start scoring some goals. But we are very, very close. We are fastly approaching the third round draw. I'll quickly just go through some of the bigger numbers as I'm not going through all those 64 teams once again. Arsenal number 2, Aston Villa number 3, Chelsea number 10. Let's have a look. Palace, we took on them on Saturday, then number 12, Everton 14, Leeds number 18, Liverpool number 20. Number 22 is Manchester City, 23 Manchester United, 24 are Borough, 26. Who are number 26, Joe?
Who's our team we call United?
Who's that team we all bloody adore?
We
We just
know.
want to do a little bit better. Bloody Newcastle United. Number 28 is Elliot Anderson's Nottingham Forest. That'll be a stinker of a draw as well. We always seem to get them. Forest and Blackburn at the minute. Let's have a look at some other ones we've got. Sheffield, the two Sheffield clubs, Sheffield United 34, Sheffield Wednesday 35, Sunderland number 38, Spurs number 40, West Ham 43, 45, Salford, the class of 92. That would be an interesting one, I suppose. Accrington Stanley, who are they exactly, 51. Birmingham City, 54. Tamworth, the lowest ranked side in the draw, number 53. Stockport, not too far. Lee would be happy to do that when he did a documentary years ago, Joe, about the Northwest clubs just before COVID. Really, really interesting watch if you haven't watched that on Newcastle Fans TV. And they are doing a little bit more talking, which I thought they weren't, because it looked like they had everything ready to get started. So it must be in the next 2 or 3 minutes, this draw. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Saneshi says, need to impress and get the stadium sorted for a future for Newcastle. Amanda was the glue that kept everyone together indeed. I definitely think when Botman comes back, we'll be much better defensively. That's what you said before, Joe. Benny says, ultimately, we are realistically playing for a place between 6th and 8th. The PSL means that Howe and Emery, who of course manages Aston Villa, have to turn water into wine. Well, they certainly turned water into wine over the last couple of years, both managers. 26 is my lucky number, says Jane. Watch us draw Real Madrid somehow. Who are the people doing the draw? The people doing the draw, Mark Hughes and Dion Dublin, Simi, and Eddie Howe should be sat on Newcastle United, and Ian Terzic should be appointed as the manager of Newcastle United. Look, I think just before obviously this draw starts, Joe, Liverpool on the horizon. Can Newcastle get anything from that game?
It's a hard one. If we can squeeze a draw from that, I would be ecstatic. But again, it's one of those where I speak about this often with my mate Curtis at work, right? And it's about Newcastle United. We can go out against Crystal Palace and we can have such a terrible performance, and then we'll come to Liverpool and somehow we'll go out and smash them 3-1. And it's one of those things of being a Newcastle United fan. You are taught so often. You bring all your hopes down because of the terrible form we're on, and you're led to believe, right, after one magical match against Liverpool, you're led to believe, hey, we can take on the world again, and then you go against someone like Blackburn in the FA Cup and you get smashed. It's baffling. Personally, looking at it right now, I think it's going to be a very tough game against Liverpool, and if we can even squeeze, and I mean dirty squeeze, a 0-0 draw, I'm chuffed. I really am. As long as we can avoid a massive deficit in goals, I'll be happy. I will.
We owe Liverpool one. We do. And I know they obviously beat Manchester City and Real Madrid in the last 4 days, so that it's going to be an unbelievably difficult task. They're on fire at the minute. You know, Van Dijk, Salah were outstanding yesterday. Gakpo got obviously one of the goals as well. They are formidable going forward. Is there a weakness, Liverpool? Of course there is. Robertson's not the player he used to be. Still a very good player, but he's not as good as he used to be. Joe Gomez, who I thought was outstanding when they took on Newcastle last year, he's only played one game. You've got Gerald Kwanzaa, who may come in with Van Dijk, but Isak being fit is massive. The fact that he's available, you know, yes, no one really played well against Crystal Palace, but if Alexander Isak's out for a period of time, you just think, oh no, because Callum Wilson, love him, you know, absolutely love him, but he just cannot stay fit. Darren says Tamworth at home, please. That would be a lovely one. Tamworth at home. I think they're in the 7th tier, Tamworth, at this moment in time. Benny says, can't see a win on Wednesday, but the performance will be there. The players run against big sides. They do. Look, they've beaten Arsenal. Big performance against Manchester City. Unlucky not to beat Manchester City on the day. Chelsea in the Carabao Cup was a big result as well in terms of getting through. Obviously, Brentford at home is on the horizon. I'll actually be at Brentford away this Saturday. Really looking forward to that one as well.
Get your signatures off, Johnny.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. You're the one getting the signatures at the minute, my son. But no, we're waiting to see. But yeah, next minute or two really for this draw, and I think there's always one big draw, I suppose. But yeah, who will Newcastle United get? They are just about to start this draw in the next 30 seconds, 45 seconds. It looks like, as they are just switching they're just rolling a VT. They're showing Sutton versus Coventry for the elder fans out there who will remember when Coventry, I think, won the FA Cup and then lost the next round to a non-league team or something like that. I'm waiting for the goal against Newcastle, but who was it against? There we go, Ronnie Redford, Radford, I think he's called. But Hereford versus Newcastle. That is the one game that's a one goal, Joe. It's like 45 yards out. He hits it on this really muddy pitch. He only recently passed away, but he hit this shot past Newcastle, and it's one of the biggest upsets in FA Cup history. But hopefully that's not the case. The third round draw is about to start. Kelly Summers from the BBC is hosting the draw. And it is live on BBC Two, but make sure you stay with us because we will have all the best reaction from a Newcastle fan point of view. Mark Hughes will be drawing the home side's Dion Dublin, famous for being Homes Under the Hammer presenter, Joe? Or
I was just about to say about Dion Dublin. Whenever I see him, I'm like, hold on. I remember him more from the Homes Under the Hammer than I do being a footballer. It does shock us often. It's like I watch on Sundays. Sometimes I watch what's it? The breakfast show thing. And anyways, on a Sunday, and there's one of them guys. I always forget his name. I think it's Simon. And I forget he was Soccer EM. Do you know for years? And I was like, whoa, what? This is mental. Oh.
Dion Dublin, of course. I think the same. He got to the final with Aston Villa when they lost to Chelsea. Mark Hughes, of course, an FA Cup winner with Manchester United. They're just showing the goal that he scored against Crystal Palace in the early 90s. And he was part of the Manchester United team that beat Chelsea. Manchester didn't have a good record. I think they've won the most FA Cups along with Arsenal, which just shows the pedigree, I suppose, of both of those clubs. When you treat the cup seriously, like Newcastle have won it 6 times, last time being in 1955, I believe. So it has been a heck of a long time. If Newcastle United could end the hoodoo in 2025, Joe, we would have a massive party.
I'm actually a little bit scared for the infrastructure of Newcastle City Centre for when we do win a trophy again, because we party getting to a final. We party losing a final. Like, imagine we're actually winning a trophy. The whole city's going to shut down for at least 24 hours. No one's getting nothing done. It's going to be insane, but it's going to be such a beautiful time to experience being a Newcastle United fan. Like, I think it's a one as well, where when people see how we celebrate, a lot of people switch over and come to the black and white. I think you can't escape the euphoria that we feel when we do anything great. It's just what we do with Geordies. We like to be big and loud and boisterous.
Yeah, Simi saying you mean Tim Lovejoy. Tim Lovejoy and Helen Chamberlain were part of Soccer AM in
That's the one.
90s. Let's quickly go through some of the numbers very, very quickly. Arsenal 2, Villa 3, Chelsea number 10, Everton 14, Leeds 18, Leicester 19, Liverpool 20, Manchester City 22, Manchester United 23, Borough 24. Who were number 26, Joe?
Who's our team we call United? Who's our team we all adore?
38 is Sunderland, 40 is Tottenham, 43 West Ham. In terms of the non-league sides, the lowest ranked team is number 53, which is Tamworth. Dion Dublin has the bag with all the ball numbers. He has just put it in the container. 64 teams all looking to become FA Cup champions. This is the third round draw, which we're all looking forward to. It is just about to begin. Dion Dublin has made sure that all the balls has left that bag. So Mark Hughes is starting the draw. Here we go. Newcastle number 26 number. So the first number out is number 36. I thought it was Newcastle. It's not. It's Southampton. They're at home. I'm not too sure about that one, if I'm being honest. But Southampton have got 39, who are Swansea. So we're not going to Southampton or Swansea, which is not a bad start. Next up is number 2, Arsenal at the Emirates. Ooh, please not this one.
No.
Arsenal have got 23, Manchester United.
Oh, that's 2 big names out. That's a big draw.
Dublin is not going to be able to walk out of Old Trafford Studios today. Arsenal, Manchester United play on Wednesday in the Premier League. They're playing in the third round of the FA Cup. Number 47 is Exeter. They're next out. That is a long, long trip for all our non-UK followers of the channel. And Exeter have got number 29, not 26. Thankfully, that's Oxford United who are going to be doing the not as long trip. Still a bit of a trip, but not as long. Next up is 48, Leyton Orient. Luke Edwards supports Leyton Orient, so if it's Newcastle, that would be an interesting one. Luke Edwards will see his team face number 13, which is Derby. Yeah.
Bad draw.
Not a bad draw. Next up, Joe, is number 62. Put it the other way around, and that would be Newcastle, but it's not. It's Reading. Reading are at home to number 8, Burnley. Not going to be watching that one. Next one is number 3, Aston Villa At home, they'd be wanting Birmingham City because that's a big, big derby.
That's the derby.
Aston and Dion Dublin, who's he going to be picking out? He's the former Villa man. Number 3, Aston Villa versus number 43, which is West Ham United. Another all Premier League affair.
Should be a good game between Villa and West Ham.
Number 27, not 26, number 27 is Norwich. Now, that is miles away. Norwich have got number 6, which is Brighton. At least we've avoided Brighton. That's a good one.
It's another guy. I wouldn't want Brighton.
Yeah. Next up is number 22, Manchester City.
Oh, at home.
Manchester City at the Etihad have got number 45, which is Salford City. Wow, that's a big draw for Salford. The class of 92 are going to the Etihad. Manchester City versus Salford is about 3 miles away, or 4 miles away. It's not far. Next up, number 25, Millwall, miles away. Josh Banyard's neck of the woods. Millwall will take on number 50, which is Dagenham and Redbridge. I'm sure they probably would have hoped for a Premier League affair, I have to be honest. Next up is number 20, the Premier League leaders, Liverpool.
Oh, this is the one I didn't want.
And they're going to be facing number 51, which is Accrington Stanley. So we've avoided Liverpool. Newcastle are number 26 in this draw. They haven't been drawn out yet. Number 7 is Bristol City. That is a billion miles away.
That's a
Bristol City will face on number 44, which is Wolves. So it's, again, not a bad draw, I suppose. Bristol City will fancy their chances against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Next up is number 32, Preston North End. I wouldn't mind this one. It's down the road. You get a massive allocation. Preston versus number 46. It's Charlton. So we're not going to be facing them. Next one up is number 10, Chelsea. Please not this one. At home, Chelsea. Don't like it when Dion Dublin does that. 59 for Chelsea, which is Morecambe. In terms of the big 6, Tottenham are the only ones left. Next up is number 24, Middlesbrough. This is the one I want.
Oh.
The Middlesbrough versus Newcastle, that's what I want. And the Middlesbrough will take on number 4, Blackburn. Yeah, make it that as you
Sunderland's still in it.
Sunderland's still in it. Next up is number 1, AFC Bournemouth. That is a little far. And Bournemouth will take on number 42, which is West Bromwich Albion. Again, there's still Sunderland and Newcastle. We're about halfway in the draw. Next up is 55 is Mansfield Town of League One, doing well. Not too far from Sam, I don't think. It's about an hour and a half away, I think. Not too far. They're going to be taking 64, which is Wigan Athletic. Next game, please. Next one up is 53, Tamworth. The lowest ranked side. Who are Tamworth going to be facing? Are they going to get a big boy? Or are they going to get not so big boy? Tamworth will face number 40, Spurs. What a draw for Tamworth. Hey, that's a good draw for Tamworth. Tamworth versus Tottenham. What a draw that is. Dion Dublin's getting a lot of plaudits from somebody with Tamworth. Next up is number 16, which is Hull City from the Championship. Not doing too well at this moment in time. Just sacked their manager, Hull. And they're going to take on number 61, which is Doncaster. Bit of a derby, not too far away. Let's see if Newcastle gets. Next up is number 38, Sunderland at the Stadium of Lights. Will it be Newcastle once again? They're going to be facing 37, Stoke. Sunderland versus Stoke. Not this year. Next up is number 19, Leicester City. Just obviously with Ruud van Nistelrooy as of right now, new manager. We face Leicester next Saturday. They face 33, which is QPR. Not many teams left, but we can't face Sunderland, unfortunately. Next up, number 5, Brentford, who we've got on Saturday and on the 18th, which is a week on Wednesday, or 2 weeks on Wednesday. And it's number 30, Plymouth. Brentford versus Plymouth. Not many teams left, but Newcastle are still in the draw.
Fancying the odds now, like who we've got
Yeah.
left.
Coventry are next up, managed by Frank Lampard. Coventry at home. Dion Dunn used to play for Coventry. And they've got 35, which is Sheffield Wednesday, an old championship affair. Next up is 26
There
Newcastle
we go.
United.
Home.
Home.
Come on.
What a home draw against. Who have we got? We have got number 60, Bromley.
Bromley. Reeve.
Who are managed by Andy Woodman, who is the son of Freddie Woodman, who was the goalkeeping coach at Newcastle United. What a good draw that is.
I'm happy with that one. I'm very happy with that one. That's good. That Bromley at home. Why I give some of the young'uns a run out, get Lewis Miley out on the pitch, let him score a hat trick. Lovely jubbly, get the morale back at St James's Park. Howie, that's a belt as that, like. That'll be good. But wait, how do you know a fact like that about Woodman? What?
I'm good, you know. I'm good.
He's damn good. He's damn good. Oh, that's a lovely draw. That is really good. It was starting to get a bit dicey.
Yeah, Everton Peterborough is the next draw. We'll just finish off the last few games. There's only about 12 left. We'll talk about Newcastle versus Bromley. Wycombe Wanderers Porter. There's not many teams left. There's about 16 teams. But yeah, Bromley at home. That's the draw Newcastle fans have been wanting for a long, long time. That sort of draw. Oh, it's a great draw. Great draw. Third round against a League Two side who, look, it's a big occasion for them. They'll absolutely love that. Birmingham versus Lincoln. We'll talk about the draw in a bit. But yeah, Newcastle Bromley, Joe. Great draw.
Oh, unbelievable! Getting a team like they're not doing very well in League Two at the moment. Like it's one of those where you've got to be really happy because we never get them draws. We're always getting stitched with your Chelsea's back to back. We're getting Arsenal's. We're getting away games against teams halfway down the country. So to get Bromley to come here, oh, that's great, and it's great for a club like Bromley as well to have the experience of St James's Park and get some tickets over the gate. Hoping they bring plenty fans, bring plenty fans, and I know I'm excited for that draw, and it's a good one again. Like I said earlier, to get some more younger players, some more less used players, to get some time on the pitch and get some match fitness going. It's gonna be good. That really strong draw for it.
Yeah, Leeds versus Harrogate. Bit of a derby, not too far away. Forest versus Luton has just been drawn out. There's only about 8 teams left. Sheffield United, who are top of the championship, are at home to Cardiff City in an old championship affair. Literally 6 teams left, so 3 ties left. Ipswich are at home. There's only 2 Premier League sides left they can face. There's a couple of League One teams in Watford in the Championship, and they're going to take on Bristol Rovers. Literally 4 teams left, and I'll give you my thoughts on Newcastle Bromley. What a top that is. 15 is Fulham. Glad we avoided them because it's far. Jodie Bartle, what a lass. Fulham are at home to 41, which is Watford. Yeah, not bothered about that one. And finally, Crystal Palace are going to be taking on Stockport, and it's going to be at Selhurst Park. Anyway, so Crystal Palace, Stockport is the last game, but Newcastle versus Bromley, buzzing with that. Really, really happy. A home draw against a League Two side is what we needed. We wanted that. The fact that there's the Woodman derby, if you like, I like that as well. Andy Woodman, Bromley, manager, Scotland promoted. They beat Solihull, who they beat in the FA Cup second round yesterday. And that was on ITV yesterday. They've got that reward is Newcastle United at St James's Park on the 11th of January, roughly. I'll be surprised if it gets chosen for telly, if I'm honest. If it was at Bromley, it probably would have. But the fact that it's at St James's Park, I would be very, very surprised. But yeah, that's between the Tottenham game, which is on the Saturday the 4th, and the Wolves game, which is on the 14th. So we actually have a Premier League game on the Wednesday. So do expect changes. Joe, Benny said a really good comment. Should be comfortable, but I remember Cambridge. If I would get the shivers out of my spine. People have to remember that. Got to respect Bromley.
It is. That's one thing without doubt. Like you're confident going into it. You do need to play some changes, especially with the schedule you've just announced there. We need to make some changes, but we can't forget that this is a team who want to just go as far as they can. If they get through to the next round, that's a cup final to them, and you need to be wary of that. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. Whereas Newcastle, if we were to lose against Bromley, we're the ones who are going to get all the stick, not Bromley. Bromley, no matter what they do, they're going to go out there and they're going to have a great time. We've got to be worried about that. We have respect to Bromley because we don't want the same old Newcastle things happening where when we do get a draw like this, we absolutely fluff it. No, no, thank you, not this time. Confident win against Bromley. Keep it calm as well. Like, let's not just go all mad and try and score as many goals as possible. Let's try and go for a 2-1, 2-0 victory, you know? Like, come on. I like graphical monk there. We're black and white. Come on, son. He's got it. Go
I
on.
like to be fair though, Joe. For Bromley, it is a cup final in itself for them.
Yeah.
Bromley is pretty much London. It is London. They're going to be travelling up to the furthest place north to a Premier League side. 50 odd thousand. It'll probably be a sellout because that's what Newcastle are like. It'll probably be a
Yeah.
sellout, but what an occasion for Bromley to go to St James's to take on Newcastle. Win or lose, they'll be absolutely delighted. Remember, there's no replays in the FA Cup as well, so the game must be decided at St James's Park, so no replays. But when you look at some of the draws that we could have had, Joe, Arsenal versus Manchester United was the second draw out. That just tells you that one of the big boys are going to be out early doors. Even Villa versus West Ham, two teams that are in and around it in terms of getting back a little bit of form in terms of West Ham. Villa are always there or thereabouts. One of those sides are going to be leaving the draw. I can't get over Manchester City versus Salford. God knows what Gary Neville and Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes across in '92 are thinking of that one. I'm probably thinking this could be a long evening. Liverpool and Chelsea both have home draws against League Two sides, which they'll be absolutely delighted about. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Not really anything in that particular section of the draw. Tamworth versus Tottenham. What a draw for Tamworth. Sunderland didn't get Newcastle this year. They've got Stoke, which will be a boring affair. But Newcastle United, Bromley sticks out the page really in terms of that particular section of the draw. Just what Newcastle United needed, Joe. They needed that particular draw. That's what they needed.
It was. You can't sit there, like, you've got to look at the rest of the draws as it was going on. Obviously, you worry because there's usually one or two big teams who are left in. You're like, oh, it's going to happen, isn't it? When Liverpool got drawn, I was like, oh, this is it. The draw I didn't want. It's happening, and it didn't. Look, it's gonna be great. I'm excited now. I'm really, really, really excited because I didn't expect this kind of draw. You know how it goes with Newcastle. We usually get the big teams, and we've got Bromley. It's going to be class for their fans. We're going to have a great time. And if we can dominate this match, go into the next round and get another, mediocre team to be fair to them, and try and again get another strong performance out. It's going to be interesting seeing if he does play someone like Will Osler in this match as well, because I think
Surely
it's
he
the
will.
type of
Surely.
you've got to. And now the rotations are there, but you've got to put in someone like Will Osler. You've got to put in the likes of Lewis Miley, give them chances out on the pitch. Hell, even Lloyd Kelly can probably start this one as well. After he's been decent until the West Ham match. So you're going to see a lot of players like that who haven't had enough time go out there. I'm really, really banking on him playing Will Osler. I'll be angry if he doesn't play Will Osler in this match. It's a great occasion for Osler to go out and hopefully bang one in the net, and give him that confidence and show Eddie Howe, look, I can do a job. Like, let us go, let us fly, let us have a game against some other bigger teams. It's going to be class, man. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, just a couple of the last games that stick out. I suppose Everton, Peterborough. Peterborough have got a good chance on that one. I have to be honest, after watching Everton for a bit yesterday. Leeds versus Harrogate, a bit of a derby, which is nice to see. It's which Bristol Rovers, again, nothing really massive to talk about. But yeah, Joe, really, really brilliant draw. Bromley at home. I'm sure the Bromley fans will be absolutely buzzing on social media. For Newcastle, as much as they would love to think about Bromley and facing Bromley, it's Liverpool next. That is going to be a massive, massive game, massive occasion. And then it's Brentford on Saturday. Me and Lee will be at Brentford at the G-Tech for a 3:00 kickoff. So make sure, a bit like Saturday, it wasn't on UK TV. It won't be on Saturday, I'm afraid. So the best reaction is to be with Newcastle Fans TV, where every single home and away game, ladies' games as well. So make sure you join us on Saturday and, of course, on Wednesday against Liverpool. Joe, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, going through this FA Cup draw and getting your thoughts on all things Newcastle United. Newcastle United have got Bromley. Andy
Come
Woodman.
on.
It's the Woodman Derby. Newcastle United versus Bromley. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV. And from me and Joe, we'll see you all very soon.
See you later.